The machine that eats stars, the cameras don't stop rolling. That's the first thing nobody tells you. They are always on, even when you think they're off. Especially when you think they're off. You become famous at 17 and you think it's a door opening. It isn't, it's a mouth. And the industry has been hungry for a very long time. 3 women, 3 different eras, 3 versions of the same story. The names change. The machine doesn't. This is what it looks like from the inside.
Level 1. Billie Eilish. The weight of being seen too soon. You are 13 years old when your brother uploads the song. You recorded it in your bedroom. You didn't even have a proper mic. You were just playing around. Within a week, 3 million people have heard your voice. You don't know what to do with that. Nobody does. The label meetings start. Men in glass offices tell you that you're special. They say it the way someone says it about a product they've just discovered, not a person. You smile and nod because that's what you're supposed to do, because you're still a teenager who doesn't want to disappoint anyone. The deal gets signed. Your parents are in the room. That helps. For now, the first album drops and it breaks records. Not some records. All of them. Youngest artist to win all 4 major Grammy categories. Your name is everywhere. Billboards. Magazines. The front page of newspapers that teenagers don't even read anymore. You should feel invincible. Instead, you feel watched. Every interview they ask about your body. You're 16. They ask about your body. You wear baggy clothes to stop them looking, and they write articles about why you wear baggy clothes. There is no move you can make that they don't analyze, dissect, and redistribute as content. You start to understand. Your personality is a product. Your pain is a product. Your recovery will also be a product. The fan accounts multiply. Some of them love you in a way that feels like possession. They know your schedule. They show up outside studios. One of them has been outside your house 3 times this month. You tell your team. They say it's part of it. You are 17 years old, and you have been famous for 4 years, and you are already exhausted in a way that most people never feel in an entire lifetime. The magazine shoots start requesting that you show more. Just a little more. It's for the art, they say. You're an adult now, they say. You can make your own choices, they say, and you do. And then the internet spends 2 weeks debating whether you made the right one. You post about your body dysmorphia, about the depression. You talk openly because silence felt worse. Because you thought honesty would create distance between you and the machine. It doesn't. It just gives the machine more material. The therapy helps. The music helps. But there is a version of you that existed before all this. The 13-year-old in the bedroom with the cheap mic. And you don't know where she went. You look for her sometimes. You're not sure you'll find her. This is level 1. The fame came before you were ready. You survived it. Not everyone does. Level 2. Lindsay Lohan. When the system decides you're disposable, you are not a cautionary tale yet, not at the beginning. At the beginning, you are the most talented young actress in Hollywood. That is not an opinion. That is what the critics write. That is what the numbers say. The Parent Trap at 11. Freaky Friday. Mean Girls. You are 21 years old, and you have already made more culturally significant films than most actors make in a career. The industry loves you, past tense. Pay attention to the tense. The parties start as celebration. You've earned it. That's what everyone says. You've earned it, Lindsay. You work so hard. Enjoy yourself. You're young, so you do. The problem is that no one tells you how to stop. Your parents are fighting their own war. A custody battle that has been playing out in tabloids since you were a child. Your father calls the press directly. Your mother enables what she should interrupt. You are the most famous person in your family, and somehow also the most unprotected. The first DUI happens in 2007. The second one happens 11 weeks later. The third arrest comes within the same summer. You are 20 years old. You are self-destructing in real time on the front page of every tabloid in the country. And the system that built you is now selling your collapse the same way it sold your success. With the same cameras, the same breathless language, the same profit margin. The court dates begin. You show up late. You don't show up. Your nails say "F you" to the judge, and a nation laughs because it's easier to laugh than to look at what's actually happening to a young woman in public. You check into rehab. You check out early. You check back in. The cycle has its own rhythm now, and you are no longer steering it. The roles stop coming, not all at once. Slowly, the way heat leaves a room, you don't notice until you're cold. Producers stop calling your agent. Your agent stops calling you. The films you were attached to get recast. Projects you developed for years quietly disappear. You read about them in the trades, the same trades that used to write about your box office numbers. Now they write about your court appearances. You are 22, then 25, then 28. Each year the narrative calcifies a little more. People stop seeing Lindsay Lohan the actress. They see Lindsay Lohan the story. And the story is already written. Hollywood has decided how your chapter ends and nobody consulted you. The tragedy of level 2 is not the fall. It's that the fall was filmed. It's that people watched and called it entertainment. It's that the same industry that handed you your first script at 11 years old stood back with its arms folded while you drowned and then sold the footage. You are not a cautionary tale. You are a person the machine used up. There is a difference. This is level 2, where talent is never enough protection, where the system profits from both the rise and the ruin. Level 3, Britney Spears the cage. They built in plain sight. The year is 2007. You have been famous for 10 years. You have sold over 100 million records. Your face has been on the cover of Rolling Stone, Vogue, Forbes. You have performed for sold-out arenas on 6 continents. You have built an empire from a small town in Louisiana and voiced that stopped rooms. None of it matters tonight. Tonight you walk into a hair salon in Tarzana, California. You pick up the clippers yourself, and the world watches a woman trying to take back the only thing left that feels like hers. Her own body, her own head. The cameras are already there. Of course they are. They are always there. There are men who follow you every day whose job is to photograph your worst moments. They are paid per photo. The worse the moment, the higher the rate. The shaved head becomes the symbol the media uses to declare you insane. Let's talk about what actually happened. You were 17 when you became the most famous teenager on the planet. Baby One More Time. The schoolgirl outfit. The Rolling Stone cover that a 30-year-old photographer thought was appropriate for a 17-year-old girl. You smiled because that's what you were told to do. Because you were a product, and products don't negotiate their packaging. The early 2000s were not kind to women in public life. The tabloids had a name for what they did to you. They called it coverage. What it actually was a decade-long coordinated humiliation campaign run by men who never once faced a consequence for it. You got married at 20. It lasted 55 hours. They laughed. You got married again. You had 2 sons. You loved those boys in the specific desperate way that people love the things they are slowly being separated from. The divorce hits in 2006. The custody battle begins. You are unraveling. Not because you are weak, but because you have been running on empty for a decade with no real support system. A management team whose job was to maximize revenue, not protect you. And a media environment that treated your mental health deterioration as premium content. Then comes the conservatorship. 2008, a legal arrangement that strips you of your rights as an adult. You cannot spend your own money without approval. You cannot hire or fire your own lawyer. You cannot vote on decisions about your own medical care. You cannot drive your own car to a destination of your choosing. And you cannot see your children without supervision. You are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You have no autonomy, and the apparatus around you, your father, the lawyers, the management, continues to book tours, release albums, sell merchandise. The machine doesn't stop running just because the person inside it is suffering. The machine never stops. That's the point of the machine. For 13 years, you exist inside this structure. You perform. You generate revenue. You smile for cameras at Las Vegas residencies while a legal document dictates what you are permitted to eat. The Free Britney movement starts as a fan theory. Then the New York Times documentary comes out. Then your own testimony, delivered in a courtroom in June 2021, lands like a grenade. I just want my life back. 7 words. The conservatorship is terminated in November 2021. You are 39 years old. You have been for 22 years. You have spent 13 of them legally classified as someone who cannot manage her own affairs, while generating an estimated $60 million in revenue during that same period. This is not a story about a pop star who fell apart. This is a story about a system that decided one woman's body, labor, and money were more valuable than her freedom, and the world watched and called it a downfall. It was not a downfall. It was a controlled demolition. And I had the permits for it. This is level 3, where power becomes captivity, where the machine doesn't just consume you. It owns you, where freedom becomes the thing you have to fight a court to reclaim. Otrod cycle. Continues somewhere right now. A girl is recording a video in her bedroom. She's 14. Maybe 15. She has a decent phone, decent lighting, and something real to say. The algorithm picks it up overnight. By morning, she has 200,000 followers. By the end of the week, a manager is sliding into her DMs. By the end of the month, there's a label meeting. By the end of the year, her face is everywhere. She thinks this is a beginning. She doesn't know it's also a clock starting. She hasn't seen what the machine does at level 2. She hasn't seen level 3. She doesn't know about the contracts she won't fully understand. The handlers whose job is to manage her, not protect her. The cameras that will monetize her worst moments. The legal structures that can be built better while they're still breathing. She doesn't know any of that. But the machine does. The machine has seen this story before. It knows exactly how it ends, and it is already hungry.